This video is sponsored by CuriosityStream. In a distant future, on a distant planet, a group of people are contained inside a large, warehouse-sized dome building. Inside, there is nothing. Covering the curved wall, however, is a set of screens, on which a series of digital images and videos are projected at all times. The individuals inside are prisoners. More precisely, they are the children of prisoners. Many years ago, after they had ventured out too far into the unknown regions of the cosmos and entangled themselves with another species far exceeding their intellectual weight class, their parents had been captured. And after being determined as a, quote, potentially infective malignant risk, they were imprisoned in complete isolation, quarantined from ever making contact with the outside world again. As part of the protocol for such a process, the infants on board were separated from their parents onto a different planet. Now, having been inside this building essentially since birth, for reasons and a backstory they would not even understand, these infants, now turned adults, know only the images and videos selected and projected by their captors onto the screens. To them, the building structure contains everything there is, and the digital renderings are the true forms of things. They are reality. The visuals are played to the prisoners for ethical reasons. Based on strict statutes and guidelines regarding interactions and imprisonment of intergalactic species, the captors are required by their own law to 1. Not kill any well-intending lower conscious beings, and 2. Provide all isolated infantile prisoners of any species and any being forms of perceptual simulation. The prisoners are also fed and hydrated through an automated misting delivery mechanism that periodically and densely fills the structure with various nutrient and water molecules, which are then absorbed by the prisoner's skin. The floor is also made of a particular technology that absorbs and cleans all waste. It has been many, many years, and the prisoners remain contained inside the building structure. At some point, some many years ago, they began considering and asking questions about what they saw on the screen wall, trying to master their knowledge of the world around them, creating language and naming the images and scenes, taking great pride in their individual efforts and abilities to analyze and understand it. Some of the prisoners have found themselves especially well versed at intellectualizing and naming the digital renderings, some even producing theories and concepts to explain the nature of it all. Over time, some of these theories have since turned into dogmas that the rest of the prisoners believe to be fixed and unquestionably true. One individual in particular, named Cato, is one of the more curious and intelligent prisoners. He is responsible for a huge portion of the language the prisoners have created, and he has been heavily involved in developing theories and knowledge that the prisoners now hold to be true. While on one of his regular walks around the internal perimeter, as he often does, he looks close up at the screen wall, moving around and laying on the ground to get a different angle, putting his nose nearly right up on the screen's surface, examining and questioning it. While doing this, on this particular day, he notices something unusual he's never seen before: a slight crack on the ground. Like all things in existence, no matter how well built, the building structure is beginning to decay, and Cato observes the very ground of reality crack beneath him. Having never seen anything like it before, Cato is completely dumbfounded. Initially, his mind plays tricks on him and prevents him from really perceiving its jagged, dimensional nature, and he only processes a 2D version of it. After looking more closely at it, however, he touches it and feels the texture of the raised pieces against the divots. Eventually, he pushes on it. It cracks further. He pushes on it again, this time harder. It cracks even further. Soon, Cato finds himself with a small hole in front of him. He stares into it. After much internal debate, compelled by his high level of curiosity and desire for knowledge, he enters and begins to dig and dig and dig. After great exertion, fear, and discomfort, he emerges into the world beyond the structure. Immediately, he becomes so disoriented, his mind goes into a shock-like state. As time passes, though, his shock slowly turns into disbelief, and then into revelation. He sees a world of three-dimensionality made of layers and elevation and cracks and holes and all the rest. He sees objects with a physical, touchable, movable nature. He sees the sun and feels its warmth. He sees a tree and climbs upon it. He sees animals and life forms that move and interact with him as he encounters them. He sees water and submerges into it, feeling its wetness. He sees things that he had previously only known on the screen wall. He quite suddenly realizes everything he has known since birth. The two-dimensional single-display rendering of a unified reality, everything he had ever talked about and called true, was now revealing itself to merely be a surface representation. The source, the truth, Cato realizes, is out here. After exploring for a little while, Cato returns to the building structure, compelled to share what he has discovered. He climbs back down into the hole and re-enters the building. He approaches the group collected in the center and informs them of what he has experienced and seen. "We are living a lie," he says. "There's a whole world beyond this world, the real world. There are different things. You can touch them, pick them up, move them. There are different..." Cato doesn't know the words to describe the new external textures, so he tries making hand signals to represent slimy and wet and spiky and so forth. "Some things you can even go inside," he continues. "I floated in something, climbed something else. There's a whole surface above us out there with things floating around. One made me feel different. It hurt to look at, but it was so beautiful." Cato doesn't know the word or concept for warm, so he makes a body motion that looks like he's melting. "I swear to you all, I have seen the truth. I've seen the source and nature of things as they really are." All the other prisoners believe Cato has gone mad. With no experience of the world beyond the building structure, comprehending beyond it without the framework or terms is like trying to scientifically explain color to someone who's never seen any. To understand a complete truth, one must not merely possess the knowledge of it, but also the experience of it. Quickly, another intellectually considerate prisoner named Lex grabs Cato and pulls him to the side. "What's wrong with you?" Lex says. "You're freaking me out right now, and you're freaking everyone else out too. It's true, I can show you," Cato replies. He escapes Lex's grip and returns to the group. "I can show you all. It's right over here." He points to the hole in the distance of the building. "You've gone insane. Wherever you went, whatever's going on with you, we don't want anything to do with it," one prisoner yells out. Cato gestures and moves towards the hole anyway. Most of the prisoners ignore him. Some, however, follow him. Once at the hole, like Cato did, they struggle to comprehend what they are seeing. Their eyes and minds play tricks on them, rationalizing the hole as anything other than a hole. However, as they reach their hand out and experience the depth of it and the feeling of the cracking texture, some begin to take Cato more seriously. Now, having seen it for themselves, these individuals enter the hole with Cato and exit the building structure, emerging into the world beyond. Like Cato was, they are immediately shocked by the sensory overload. As they adjust, though, they begin to process and feel everything. They see the sun and feel its warmth. They move rocks, touch plants, they feel texture, they see dimension. "You were right," another prisoner exclaims to Cato in awe. After a little exploring, the whole group returns to the building structure to tell the other prisoners that Cato was right, that they have seen the truth. After attempting to explain, the other prisoners who have remained inside become increasingly concerned and hostile, believing that Cato has now somehow brainwashed the others. Simultaneously, Cato and the others, knowing they know the real truth and that the others are ignorant to it, feel they must defend it. After some arguing back and forth, a fight breaks out, fists swinging, legs kicking, voices screaming. The prisoners who remained inside are not only comfortable in their ignorance, but are also deeply upset by the attempt to point it out. Part of ignorance, after all, is the refusal to admit it, the succumbing to the pain of potential wrongness with denial and resistance. Cato steps in and stops the whole debacle. "Enough," he says. "If you do not want the truth, then so be it. I, for one, want to live in the truth, the world of things as they really are. I'm leaving for the final time to live in that world. I have shown those who would like to see, and for anyone who would like to join me now, you may do so." About half of those who left with him originally leave with him again. The rest stays. Cato and the group that goes with him go on to live, explore, discuss, and redefine reality in the world beyond the structure, eventually going on to reproduce and begin an entirely new population of their species. Cato becomes a leader of sorts as they name new objects, new motions, new phenomena. They come up with new terms and theories to fill in the gaps between their experience of reality and their comprehension of it. They form, primarily led by Cato, new dogmatic belief systems. The group feels an increasingly superior grasp of knowledge over those who remained inside the building structure. They call themselves the enlightened ones, the truth knowers. Back inside the building, one of the prisoners has continued to second-guess her choice to stay ever since the group divided. She frequently goes over to the hole when no one is looking and stares into it. The group, if they ever catch her, quickly scolds and stops her. Today, however, compelled by her growing curiosity, she finally enters the hole and leaves the building structure. Once outside, she goes a slightly different direction than Cato and the others. Simultaneously, at a remote monitoring station about 1 light-year away, an alarm goes off. A security guard on shift at the station, monitoring hundreds of thousands of jails across the galaxy cluster, waves his hand at a holographic screen. Another screen appears revealing the prisoner leaving the building, as well as Cato and the rest of the prisoners outside. The guard taps at a holographic button to the right of him and waits a moment.
"Hello?"
A voice answers. A group from prison CA-53 have exited Layer 1, and they appear to have settled into Layer 2 now, the guard says.
"Noted, thank you."
The voice replies. On the holographic screen in front of the security guard, below text that reads, Jail CA-53, a checkbox next to text that reads, Layer 1, fills in with an X. Below it is a list that goes on to read, Layer 2, Layer 3, Layer 4, all the way down to Layer 1000. The captor species are not concerned. They know that as long as the prisoners believe they have escaped, they will remain imprisoned. This video was sponsored by CuriosityStream, containing thousands of documentaries and nonfiction TV series covering thought-provoking subjects in science, technology, nature, history, and much more. CuriosityStream is the streaming platform for those who enjoy taking journeys deep into the world and mind through film. With award-winning exclusives and originals by some of the world's best filmmakers, CuriosityStream provides beautifully produced titles that utilize entertaining narratives and formats and feature many familiar faces like Stephen Hawking, Jason Silva, and David Attenborough, to name a few. Easily pick from 35 expertly curated collections and find hours and hours of content streamable on any device at any time. Whether you're on your phone, laptop, or smart TV, CuriosityStream's growing library will ensure that your unique curiosities can always be explored. By visiting curiositystream.com/wonder or clicking the link in the description and using code WONDER during sign-up, you can start your subscription today for just $14.99 for the entire year, which equates to just $125 per month. And of course, thank you so much for watching in general, and see you next video.